tonight. From Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. It's Week 13 of the NFL on EA Sports.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here come the Bengals now to take over. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Now the first carry for Cam Akers. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 13 carries, 63 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
And this is
from the gun on third down. Jones, and he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 42. The drive will start with an option going left. The quick feet by Jackson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. 1st down. And this, and across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Calvin Ridley with touchdown number 29. Too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record, 31. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. And let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit
Sometimes
better.
it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
29-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play. And this is...
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Off-play action. Jones. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Dante Hightower. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
49ers.
Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken about a yard deep. Now a hit and a loose football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
Recover it.
Oftentimes when we talk about piling on in any subject, it's a negative. In this case, for this team, it's a real positive. Just scored. Now they go down, knock the ball free, get it back, They got a chance to really increase their lead.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0.
Makes the score Niners.
Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing, and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over it.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
And what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
And this is
operating from the gun. Jones. He's going to air one out. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed their wake-up call for this one. No points on their first 2 possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Watch out for Hill on the return. Then he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Sliding out of the pocket. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
That is definitely what we call our defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is uh-oh. He's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
They definitely established a rhythm.
And across the chalk, into the end zone, it's a 49er touchdown. Alvin Kamara with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
makes the score.
Prater for the extra point. And a rout is on here in this first half. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
19-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big, this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Was trying to get it to Terry McLaurin, and that'll bring up second down.
Incomplete.
Now a run with Akers. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
A loss of a yard on the play. And it's 3rd down.
Jones now to throw on 3rd down. Now this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Lining up for the point after.
So now 2 pick sixes that he's thrown in this first half of play. Where do you go from here?
Well, number one, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you have your hands on your head or shaking your head, walking with your head down,
now a hit and a loose football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
By the Niners.
And that one is his 2nd fumble loss. Not a good look out of your return man.
And not only does he hurt the momentum for his team or even change momentum of the game, but now they've got a decision to make on his own sideline. Does he continue to do that?
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Chandler Jones make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. After the sack on first down, Jackson. They were able to win last. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Calvin Ridley becoming just the second player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the 49ers continue to roll.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you could write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Bengals drive about to get going. Now Jones throwing on first down. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Solomon Thomas has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Gain of 4. And this is third.
From the gun, Jones. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Intended for Cam.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. 35 yards that time on the punt. Jackson on first down. Airing it out, looking for... And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats, but what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
After the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down,
Good luck.
he's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
At their own 21-yard line.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports.
With the score, Niners 49, Bengals nothing.
54 is mine. 54 is mine. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Here's a run with Akers on second down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
Third down.
Throwing Jones. They'll set up the screen here to Akers. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Just a 30-yard punt that time. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up first and 10 at their own 44. Now throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
First and 10.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Calvin Ridley on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On second down, Akers. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Looking downfield for Jones. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the second quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver, because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables. But, boy, he's getting it done, and in a big way.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, 49ers. Calvin Ridley, 58 yards. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
25-yard line.
But the focus shifts back to Daniel Jones and company. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
A gain of
The Bengals on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, here's a give to Akers. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Hill on the return. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over.
at their own.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for the Niners. 42 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Escaping the pressure right. That is caught at the 7. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Man, that ain't make no sense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
The throw over the middle taken in. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. Jackson looking to throw on third.
You know, Lamar Jackson last season, the first NFL quarterback with 3,000 or more passing yards and 1,000 or more rushing yards in the same season.
And we see both of those talents.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Alvin Kamara with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And this offense continues to pour it on. Extra point good by Prater, and the route is on here in this first half.
Fielded near the back of the end zone, and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. But the focus shifts back to Daniel Jones and company.
He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. The Bengals on third down. Just 1 conversion and 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 5. And the Niners get there and bring him down.
That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Let's take it at around the 40. Touchdown, 49ers. He returns the punt 60 yards. And this offense is running away with this one. Prater on to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff.
Fielded near the back of the end zone, and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Jones. Back to the air on second down.
He'll throw complete to Cam Akers.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Jones.
Oh, Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception.
Picked off at the 40. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you. Because you always want to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all those things. But the best players show up each and every week.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. An 11-yard touchdown as his guys continue to pour it on. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. someone delivering it accurately, offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. A true team record, but he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Nick Bosa in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Another try after the first down sack. Jones. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded at the 43. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They'll roll him out right toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And there, once he's outside of the pocket and doesn't see anything, very smart play to just throw it away. That was only 1st down. He's got a few more shots, maybe. He can take it to the end zone.
On 2nd and goal. Jackson to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well.
And it's complete in the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. There to make the grab. And the 49ers continue to roll. And the route is on here in this first half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow, because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Bengals set to take over.
And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jones.
They will find Davis. That's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Jones. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10.
To throw again, Jones. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 23 yards the pickup there. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt.
Is good. Makes the score Niners 91.
Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Tariq Cohen on the return. The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more.
This is caught inside the 15. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. So we are at halftime. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go.
Bengals 3.
It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers,
Absolutely.
though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. Jackson going to look to do it himself. The quick feet by Jackson. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A first down there on a pickup of 25. I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even if...
And this is caught inside the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Calvin Ridley there to make the grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And he's got it up and through.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. An unlucky number here, a loss of 13 on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
They'll run here with Akers. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
At the 27-yard line.
Going right back to Akers. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25.
Brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with to have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team would say, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor. And that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, the passing windows are just not there. And that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo.
And there he goes again. Touchdown, 49ers. A 62-yard punt return. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. Taken in the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
And it's third down.
Here's Jones on third down. And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it.
The pass. Fumble on the play.
Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16. Jackson from the shotgun. Being chased out left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
Third quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up.
Throwing again. Jackson eluding the pressure right. And he's got it.
And the 49ers are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Again, Jackson.
I think a lot of people ask the same question.
And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Calvin Ridley there to make the grab. And this offense continues to pour it on. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
Taken about 7 yards deep and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes are... working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
2nd and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara. They'll go again here with Akers.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
And it's third down.
Now Jones. And that is incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards.
The Niners take over first.
Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. Sort of a slow and steady game so far, but reliable for him here in this third quarter.
Sounds like we're describing a possession receiver, right? The one that finds a way to make the big catches, the ones that break the backs of defenses, keep first downs, accumulating. I think he's that and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, he's been pretty good so far. We'll see if he can make this good game a great game.
The intended target was Calvin Ridley.
And it's second down. To throw again. Jackson flushed out right.
Again, he targets Ridley. This time it's complete.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36. From the gun, it's Jackson. Flush to his right.
Oh, and it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley.
Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And a very good return as he takes us all the way up to the 35-yard line. He got out of the pocket there. Was wondering what he was going to do with it, but I think he was calling. His receiver was calling for the ball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. The problem, he called for it too late, and when he delivered.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis.
Jones pass.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
18-yard line.
From the gun, Jackson. Oh, and it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley.
Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
They try and run on first down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line.
A loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 17 at the 3-yard line.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
They'll keep it on the ground. Akers, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
3rd down.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
The Niners take over 1st and 10.
The Niners set to take over on offense.
We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is...
And this is taken in at the 5. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
2nd down and goal. Jackson escaping the pressure right. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Calvin Ridley there to make the grab. And this offense is running away with this one as that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review. Jones now on first down. Over the middle to Smith.
7 yards, the pickup there. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to...
And now here is another interception. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs.
And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right?
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Calvin Ridley. He flat out can't be stopped. And the Niners take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Now Jones to throw on 3rd down.
Looking underneath, he's got Akers.
And a good job defensively. They stopped him short of the first at the 32. 5 yards, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. Right?
Now a hit and a loose football. And the Bengals grab it.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by the kicking team.
It's been a struggle all game for them on offense. This was a chance to maybe provide a little bit of a spark with a punt return. Unfortunately, that spark got doused.
And you call special teams the 3rd phase, but you see here it can be the 1st phase sometimes.
That is so true, right? It can ignite it one way or the other, and boy, that didn't help them at all. That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
A gain of 4. And this is 3rd.
Off the play fake. Jones. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football.
Lamar Jackson.
2nd time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Running with Kamara. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. The Bengals drive about to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So mark off the yardage for roughing the passer.
And I've seen this before. On a screen pass, not only are you rushing the passer, you're rushing him deeper than normal. And I think a little frustration.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
You've had put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to his knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Bengals getting set to go. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to...
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Daron Payne in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
It's second down.
To try again after the sack. Jones, he'll get this to Akers out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back. And now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
It'll be a loss of 13 on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time.
The Niners take over first and 10.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show.
That's good for a 49er.
We got a plane to catch.
Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
He was taken down.
Now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On the ground, Kamara. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They run. It's Kamara. And, boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. Alvin Kamara unable to push past that yellow line. And the Bengals will get the football back. Jones on 1st and 10. That's into the hands of Akers, complete. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Now a 2nd down and 6. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Niners, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year.